Well, each and every growing season, farmers know how important nitrogen is for their crops, particularly for the corn crop. It's always tough during the spring when you deal with volatile weather and trying to understand whether or not you'll be able to get that critical nitrogen on for a good return on your crop and much more. There's a lot of things here to take a look at. Well, new University of Minnesota research recently published in the Soil Science Society of America Journal looks at a tool that farmers can use to guide some of these important decisions when it comes to their nitrogen management. Joining us for a conversation and to tell us more, he's a researcher in the University of Minnesota's College of Food, Agricultural, and Natural Resource Sciences. Emerson Souza is with us here today. Emerson, it is great to talk with you, sir. Thanks for the time. Hope all is well.
Hi, Jess. Thank you for inviting me. So, as yeah, we were talking previously, it's awesome to talk about our research here and give back to growers what they have supported us here in terms of research.
Absolutely. Well, just for starters, talk about some of the key findings with this research in regards to determining crop nitrogen needs. Can you give us a little bit of an overview and just give us some details to start, Emerson?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, just want to first of all give credits for Professor Fabian Fernandes. He is the one behind scenes. His conversation with growers. He's the nitrogen management professor specialist. He's in the front line talking with growers, and he's the mind behind the idea of he reassess this tool. This is a well-known tool, but we do not have this information from Minnesota. So other states they do have, but it's not peer reviewed. It's not based on data, on historical data. It's based on their experience, on some trials they have done, but it's not published data. So yeah, the thing is like uh, in the last 10 years we have seen a pattern of more and it's get wetter, more rainfall in the spring. So sometimes growers they don't have like a good condition to go in the field and apply their nitrogen. And sometimes they do, but like a week later, they have a heavy rainfall event, so they may lose this nitrogen through leaching, denitrification. So, and then we came up with this like review and assess some evaluations to see how can we solve it. So we another chance to growers is to go in season in the field and take a soil sample like between V4 V6 for people that is not familiar with that. V4 is when corn has 4 leaves and V6 6 leaves. So during this period they can go there and sample at 1 foot depth, and we found out that if we have 20 ppm of nitrate available, it's enough to ensure a potential agronomic corn yield. So that's our research we have done. But we also look at the weather patterns. So wet spring, so this number is going to be lower, but it doesn't mean you don't need to apply nitrogen. It means that you need to apply, but the response is going to be um, compromised by the rainfall. So that's our what we found. So yeah, that's the background we have. So mainly because of to help growers to find out another tool that they can go they can remake this nitrogen management and fix what they can. But I just want to like raise here that it's one piece of the puzzle. So we have a lot of things going on. Like uh, if you go in the field, if you have this 20 ppm, so if you take into account only the mineral nitrogen available, this won't be enough for corn. But based on the study we have, we are taking into account the natural nitrogen resource combined with this nitrogen that is available. So can I just expand more on
Please
our
do.
findings? Okay.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, and yeah, another finding is like, okay, you go in between V4 V6, and then you find in your field you have 15 ppm instead of 20. So 20 is the target. So what we're going to do, through our data, we found that you need 12.3 pounds nitrogen per acre to increase 1 ppm. So let's suppose you have 15 ppm times 5, 12.3 times 5 is going to be, let's do a little math here, about 60 pounds nitrogen per acre to increase it and ensure your yield. And it must be done between no late than, like I would say, V6 to right before V8, because it's when corn is going to start the rapid nitrogen uptake rate. So if you delay it, so this stage of corn growth, so you're gonna miss it. So the corn will have already done, and you won't be able to catch up, and it's gonna compromise your yield. So, and now another thing is, nowadays we can do that because labs, they do give you the results like right away. So 24 hours, 48 hours, so you're gonna have your results. So before, like 10 years ago, so you need like 1 week, 2 weeks to get, and you're gonna need to send to another state maybe, or other city far away to get a result. So for example, here in Minnesota, so we have our lab here, I'm sure they can get you like the results right away. So nowadays it's a feasible tool. So yeah, growers can, if they had no good conditions for nitrogen application pre-season, so they can wait a little bit and go in season and take that sample. And we also have whether they apply or not. So we also have the recommendation rate through our study. And another thing I want to just emphasize, it's only for corn. That research is not for soybean, or it's not for other crop, and it's for heavy soils, not for coarse texture soils, irrigated one. So I think it's the representative soils are the greatest, like in the corn belt. So it can be used in states around. I would suggest so. Of course, they have their own data. And yeah, so we are here for more questions, for more details, if growers want to reach out and ask us whatever they want regarding this option for nitrogen management.
I think a key thing with all of this that I always hear a lot from agronomists, researchers, and more is that every field is different. And you mentioned getting out and scouting and testing your soil and more to figure out, where your nitrogen levels are at, because one field is different than the next. It could see different amounts of leaching, et cetera, et cetera. So it's important, isn't it, Emerson, to just make sure you get out and really hone in on and take a look at your specific fields, because every field is different, right?
Yeah, Jess. So yeah, right in the targets. Yes. So yeah, our data, like of course, like we say, 20 ppm is our target, but based on the variability, because we have different fields, so we have plus or minus 2.5 ppm. So, and the grower, they know. So before they take any decision, of course, they know their land. So, and the product they bought. So for example, the material, the corn, the hybrid they bought. So the potential response to that application of nitrogen, does it work or not? Though, so of course, as I said, like it's one piece of the puzzle. So their experience, so their knowledge, alongside of the weather patterns, so they can take a decision. So we are just giving them one more information, so they can add it to their management. And of course, the final decision will be they'll take it. So before applying, so they are gonna make sure many factors. So they know where, for example, which crop they had before corn. So was it corn? Was it soybean? Soybean, we know that they provide some nitrogen credits. So they, based on the information they have, they may come up, well, we are just like 2 ppm below. I'm sure we can catch up with the organic matter we have here. and the nitrogen credits that will be available through the season because we had soybean last year. So it's just hypothetically saying. So yeah, I just like in case they miss nitrogen application and they go in the field like before and it's like 10 ppm. So I'm sure I would recommend them to apply and before they compromise their profitability.
Emerson, appreciate a little insight into this research. Anything final you would share about the research or anything you would reiterate to producers listening in here today?
Well, as I said, like grower must to take into account their experience in the where they are. So I think that's the most important. There's a lot of technologies around, so recommendations, and is I would suggest they take into account so the 20 ppm at V4 and V6. So they even if they it seems like things are going well, I would take sample at least to see what's going on. So now it's not the time. So maybe next year, so they can go in the field for Minnesota. So I'm talking about Minnesota and take the sample and see what they have it and if they want to reach out for more information. So Fabian Fernandes is the nutrient nitrogen management specialist here. They can talk to me as well. So yeah, and yeah, use our technology alongside with their experience for sure.
Well, I know folks can also learn more at cfans.umn.edu, and we appreciate the conversation with that researcher at the University of Minnesota College of Food, Agricultural, and Natural Resource Sciences, Emerson Souza. Emerson, thanks for the time today on the show. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate